Howard University, it's Wes Hall here for a Bison Breakdown. It's all about Howard University football all season long. We're going to take you step by step through the calendar each week, checking out some good matchups and perhaps inviting you down to the field because, after all, it's all about support here in Bison land. So first up, of course, each week I'm going to be here with head coach Mike London and, of course, Tiffany Hoyd. They will be here with me each week as we go through this lovely setup called a season of football. I get excited because, frankly, I'm a football fanatic. But first of all, I want to welcome both of you to the show this week.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so first up, Coach London, let's talk about the beginning of the season. Obviously, last season got off to a great start out in Las Vegas. Big matchup, if I'm not mistaken, the greatest upset in college football history, led by your starting quarterback, Kalen Newton. Tell me that this season's going to start off somewhere in the same vein.
Well, that's the plan. That's the goal, is to do that, and be very competitive on the field. I like our team. You know, we've been here since June, going to summer school, working out with our strength and conditioning coach, going to summer school and getting our grades up, you know, lifting our academic muscles as well. So there's been a lot of things that the players have put into getting ready for this moment this Saturday.
So this Saturday's matchup is against Ohio, the Bobcats. Some people look at the schedule and go, Ohio State. No, it's Ohio Bobcats. But obviously a good FBS matchup for you, Oz. What are you really looking to kind of implement so far going into week one?
Definitely. You know, Ohio is the MAC champs, FBS team that was bowl eligible last year. You know, for us, we're looking for to be competitive. We're looking to utilize the skill guys that we have on our team and spread the ball around and, you know, make them catch us in space. And we know they're a good team because they've, like I said, they've had the same coach for about 14 years, been successful. But, you know, for us now, you know, the whole statement last year was mission possible. And we've carried that over and adopted that to not only mission possible, we want more. And that's kind of where we are right now with the season and our mentality.
We talk about more. Can you expect more out of a starting quarterback? Of course, going back to that first game of last season, Kalen was basically responsible for 330 yards offensively and 3 touchdowns. Are you expecting more from him in this game and through the season?
Well, the term more, we want more, is based on raising our football IQ. It's based on now, you know, we're a young team. We have about 65 players that are either freshmen, redshirt freshmen, or true sophomores. We played like 18 true freshmen last year, so now they're older, but they're still young. And so what we want more of is their ability to raise their football IQ like Kalen. We signaled a lot of plays for him last year. Now he's older. Now he can make those audibles and make those play calls at the line of scrimmage and change, you know, different things. So that accompanies being a little bit more mature, but also knowing the schemes and systems. So that's not only him, but as far as the team is concerned, that's what we're looking for.
All right, so Tiffany, help me. We've talked earlier about position breakdowns because obviously you said Kalen is kind of the most consistent aspect of this team, which is a great thing. That leadership on the offensive side is absolutely fundamentally crucial. Now, are there any other position battles that we need to kind of keep our eye on this year?
Well, definitely, just from what I've seen, I know you can elaborate, Coach. We have a running back battle. Kalen called it the 3-headed monster. I think it could have 4 heads, actually, depending on who else steps up at that position. But you also have this matchup, this game, to figure out who that third wide receiver is going to be, because you have the consistency in the Kyle Anthony and Jaquez Ezra. What would you say the biggest turning point will be for offense with those matchups?
You know, for us, I believe the ability to have explosive plays to continue drives. You know, we talked about Kyle Anthony, Jaquez Ezra. Jaquez is one of the nation's leaders in yards per catch, and that's critical. So we did a good job of having explosive plays. Finding that third receiver is going to be critical as well. And then, you know, like you said, we have running backs by committee, so to speak, and 3 of them are really young, and they're all different. One of them is really fast, is a 700-meter guy. Another guy is a bigger guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. And so we have a kind of a compilation of good running backs. We have to figure out where we can play them and how we can use them to help us win games.
Now, what do you deal with as far as like the difference between an FCS team and an FBS team? Typically is a size and stature matter. So now if you have running back by committee, which one of those running backs or any combination of them looks to be the best formula going up against Ohio?
Well, you know, the 3-4 that we have, they're all very good at one particular aspect of it. One is extremely fast, and so we might attack the perimeter game with him. One can catch the ball out of the backfield because he's got really good hands, so we'll do some swing patterns and things to get him the ball in space. One is a downhill runner, you know, that can hit between the tackles. So, like I said, we have a group of guys that are, you know, they're talented as running backs, but they do things that we think that can help us not only with this game, but as the season approaches.
Now, that's on the offensive side of the ball. So now let's switch the gears and look at the defensive side of the ball. If I'm not mistaken, there's a little bit of the same kind of a competition going on in the secondary as well. Can you kind of elaborate on who's looking to lock down that second corner spot?
Yeah, that's a great point. You look at our secondary now. Two of the starting safeties are true sophomores, so they played last year as true freshmen. Wow. Brian Cook, all-star, all-candidate preseason and postseason last year is a true sophomore. He started last year, so trying to find that next young player will come out of the freshman ranks. And that's what recruiting does for you. It allows yourself to go recruit kids that had a chance to perhaps go to some FBS schools, but they chose a school like Howard because of the academic reputation and want to be a part of something that's we believe is special that's going on. So we'll have some household names here pretty soon as we start seeing these young guys play.
That's what I look forward to. So, Tiffany, is there any other position on the defensive side of the ball that you kind of see as a focal point for us to pay attention to this week's matchup against Ohio?
Well, definitely that safety position because we have strong veterans there. But then Brian Cook, he's going to have a record-breaking year again. I know that he's definitely getting his work in. And then we have that other freshman on the other side. We have 4 freshmen that are competing for that other corner position.
Wow.
Yeah, Jalen Smith, John Smith the fifth. Excuse me.
You got to make sure you get that right. Yeah.
But that's they're kids that had a chance to go to other places. And one of the things we did in recruiting was like, you can come here, play. In significant games, being involved in an atmosphere and an environment that that's getting better, is going to continue to get better, and they accepted the challenge, and so they came here to play, and now they're going to play. Now their first game is going to be against an FBS opponent that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, last year we played a bunch of freshmen that played in all the games, and now they're sophomores, and we're looking for better play from them.
Now, do you have anybody that's kind of going to have to be more of a flex player? Some of your guys who, since you have a young team, some of these starters might end up playing on special teams. Is that a reality that you have to deal with this week?
It is a reality of playing your best players. Special teams to me is one play football where the punt, the kickoff return, the kickoff cover is critical. And so you would take a starter or the next guy in that's a second team guy that maybe is a 3 or 4 phase special teams guy, so you have the skill level to compete at all phases. Because it's going to be important for us not only to play well offensively and defensively, but also in the kicking game. How we punt, our field goals, our extra points, the way we cover kickoffs, how we return to kickoffs. There's some new rules that the college football has nowadays that can advance the ball for the offense. So there's a lot of things that are tied into it, but personnel is critical.
Now, you're speaking of a new rule. Is there any particular new rules that you had to actually coach in during this offseason to kind of prepare your players to be ready for game day situations on?
Sure. Just a couple on the kickoff now. If you fair catch the ball on the 5-yard line or 10-yard line, the ball will automatically go to the 25-yard line.
What?
It's a new rule to cut down on some of the collisions downfield, but also the fact that wherever you catch the ball and fair catch it, they'll advance the ball to the 25. So that's a new rule. The speed of the game and the pace of the game is also being sped up. When you score a touchdown, you have a certain amount of time to get your field goal team ready to kick the extra point, or if you're going to go for 2, you have a certain amount of time. And so all the post-touchdown celebrations and all that stuff like that, it's like celebrate on the sideline. Let's get the extra point ready to go and kick the field goal or extra point and move on to the next element. So there's a time factor now that a 40-second clock is involved after every play. So when a play's over, an official has a clock that starts and counts down to 40 seconds, and you have to run a play, as that time is expiring. So that has sped up the game a lot, and how you approach it and what you do is critical in your strategy.
All right. So that was a really quick breakdown of everything you need to know about the Ohio matchup with the Howard Bison. So, Tiffany, of course, he thought he was going to slide out of here with only football questions, and that's just not what we do here. So we got to ask you some other real questions. You got one to fire off on them?
So, Coach, this is WHUR, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're known for the Quiet Storm and R&B. I know you listen to a little R&B, but who's your favorite singer?
Wow. My favorite singer, I'm a Michael Jackson fan. I try to play that in practice sometimes. A playlist, and our players like, come on.
Are you serious? Keep it going. From me to you, just keep it going. Make them respect the king of pop.
Absolutely. Now, growing up in the 60s, Al Green, the James Brown, hot tub, baby, just all those things. I'm a product of that, and I do appreciate jazz, Miles Davis. I've always appreciated good jazz music. So I'm versatile, but there is mainstays that I listen to.
No, I know you personally, Coach. So I know you listen to a little Migos. What's your favorite Migos song?
I'm not as much of a Migos as I am a Drake guy. Now I got all kinds of Drake songs now.
What? So, Hold on, you got all kind of Drake songs.
Started from the bottom, now I'm here. That's how I looked at last year's predicament from the from the MEAC, and So I like to make it fun. And Tiffany's been out of practice. We play music all the time.
So like, what's some of your practice playlist stuff? Like your go-to stuff?
Stadium noise.
Yes,
because,
great stuff.
When you go away to two FBS teams like we're going to, they have a crowd size that sometimes likes to yell when we have the ball on third down, third and short or third and long. So we try to simulate the crowd noise when it comes to that. I'll throw some Kurt Franklin in there as well. So I'm a good opportunity reporter when it comes to
Wow. Let's get it in. Migos, the Kurt Franklin.
I did hear that revolution last practice.
That's what I'm talking about. This is the kind of fun you can expect all season long. Bison Breakdown with Howard University's football coach Mike London and, of course, Tiffany Hoyd. Both thank you so much for being here. On behalf of WHUR, I'm Wes Hall. We will see you next week.